morning, your majesties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. And happy day 9 of Princessgiving. Annabelle wants to say hi too. And I have another story of, this is chapter 8 of the Chronicle of Life. Now, like I said, I'm going to say this in every video I make, every time I make a series, every time I'm going to be saying this until I'm done with this Chronicle of Life. There's a reason why I chose this series is because Adam McIntyre is going on tour. I've been a mucker since December 2nd of last year, and so I'm finally meeting him on February 25th, and his tour is called the Chronically Online Tour, and I just think it's so beautiful, so unique. So Adam, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt you are, I love you so much. And I can't wait to meet you on February 25th. Okay, so this story is called, the title is called Let Her Off. Okay. But yes, that's why I'm reading a series and bringing Adam into it, because his tour is called the Chronically Online Tour. So anyway, yeah. Okay, just thought I'd clear that up for y'all. Okay. So the title's called Let Her Off. Okay. After crossing the alley, Oswald had already heard the car-piercing music of the funeral before he could see the small gray building. Oswald's footsteps suddenly froze. The secretary chased after him and looked at Oswald's pale face. He said considerately, "Mr. Simon, let me see the situation first. Perhaps there's some misunderstanding." "No," Oswald said in a hoarse voice. "I'll go by myself." He took heavy steps and continued forward. The small gray building quickly appeared in front of him. White wreaths piled up at the door. Several guests walked out of the room and saw Oswald. "Excuse me," the secretary pulled one of them and asked, "Whose funeral is this? Are you Vanessa's friends? This is her funeral. It's a pity that she has such a serious liver cancer at such a young age. How did you know it was her?" Oswald suddenly said in an icy voice. "Do you see that?" the guest asked curiously. "Why did I see her? She was already dead when she was brought back. Am I still shameless enough to look at her corpse?" Oswald suddenly said, "If you don't see it, then she's not dead." With that, he strode into the small building. Along the way, he accidentally bumped into the wreath at the door. As a result, the wreaths from the door to the courtyard were knocked over. Okay. The guests in the courtyard looked at him in confusion. Oswald didn't care about anyone and directly stepped into the living room. A black coffin was placed in the middle of the living room. Old Mrs. Tolan stood up trembling. "Sir, you..." Before she could finish her sentence, Oswald suddenly raised his leg and kicked the coffin again and again. "Why?" "Ah!" the guest screamed, and the living room instantly became chaotic. Some guests hurriedly went to pull Oswald. "Scram!" Oswald shook off the guest and kicked the lid of the coffin. The coffin tilted from the shelf, and the lid slid down, revealing an empty interrer with no corpse. What? Oswald took a look inside, and his eyes became even more scarlet. He stared at Old Mrs. Tallland and asked with gritted teeth, "Where is she? Where is Vanessa?" Old Mrs. Tallland raised her head and looked at Oswald calmly before sighing. "Come with me." She took Oswald upstairs and pushed open the bedroom. The room wasn't big. Oh, Lordy. There was a bookshelf against the wall filled with dolls and all sorts of beautiful little things. This was Vanessa's childhood bedroom, but there wasn't Vanessa inside. Where exactly is she? Oswald lost his patience and said, "Don't beat around the bush, or I'll make her life even more painful in the future. She's here." "She's here." Old Mrs. Tallland walked to the desk and stroked a wooden box on it. Old Mrs. Tallland walked to the desk and stroked a wooden box on it. "Oh, my good granddaughter is in this small wooden box." Oswald was stunned and sneered. "Are you kidding? Don't tell me that woman is really dead. I don't believe it." Old Mrs. Tallland looked calmly at Oswald and said, "What's the use if you don't believe me? Vanessa is no longer alive. This is the truth. No one could change it." Oswald shook his head and face gloomy and pale. "She can't die just like that. I saw her the other day," and Oswald was suddenly unable to utter these words. He remembered that when he was in the car with Vanessa that day, Vanessa's face was pale and she had been covering her abdomen. Afterwards, she had been shouting for pain, begging for mercy, and even repeatedly fainting. At the time, Oswald was so angry that he didn't care about Vanessa's discomfort. Now that he thought about it again, he felt cold in his heart, as he should. Oswald took a step back and fell on the wall. It was his negligence. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to bring Vanessa back completely. It's her old Mrs. Tallland bent over and stroked the wooden box hard. She jumped to death, and I couldn't bring her body back intact, so that was the only way. Old Mrs. Tallland closed her eyes and whispered, "Mr. Simon, I don't know what happened in the past, but things have to come to this point. Please let her off." Jeez. Well, that's the end of that story. Not the series, but just that part of the story. So that's going to be it for today's video. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Princess Peyton. Hit the red button to become Your Majesty, and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I love you guys so much. You guys are the best human beings ever made. And you're the king of my heart and the song lyrics of Taylor Swift. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. And Annabelle says she will too. Okay, love you guys. Bye. Mwah.